Hi, friends. We're so grateful to be here today. Joy Journey Options You Choose is presenting Feel to Heal, reconnecting your body's inner wisdom. Today, we're excited about our guests. Before we dive into some additional information and learning, let's talk about our disclaimer. It's really important that we understand that Dr. Delphina JOYce and Joy Journey Options You Choose provides leadership development, mindset coaching, and holistic wellness. Neither one of these entities, including Bridget Rawlings, does not diagnose, treat, nor cure any medical or mental health conditions. If there's any support needed for a diagnosis or prescription or medical advice, please seek medical advice from a healthcare professional. Today's workshop is designed to help women connect with their inner wisdom with confidence, understanding, and practical strategies for wellness. We're very grateful to have the gift of Bridget Rawlings, who will be the expert in the house to teach you about how to feel to heal. Bridget, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I am Bridget Rawlings. I've been a massage therapist for over 24 years, and I've helped people with physical pain, emotional discomfort, and ease. Um, and I really want to share more about first by asking a question. How many times have you heard that little voice inside and you've ignored or denied it? Many of us have done that and probably still do. But what if it was trying to guide you somewhere? So, as someone who has helped thousands of people relieve tension and pain from their bodies, it's really been a transformational experience for many of my clients to really help them connect on a deeper level to what is showing up for them. So, I help women to notice and feel those subtle sensations in their body so they can see what the deeper message is. Because our body is always communicating with us, it's giving us these subtle messages, and it's important for us to really see what the meaning is for us. So your body is talking to you. Are you listening?
That's a great point, Bridget. I appreciate how you note that our body does communicate with us, and I'm excited about hearing how you're going to teach us how to know and how to listen to our body. So, friends, today our objectives for this workshop are one, you're going to be exploring how emotional healing begins in the body, not just the mind. We're also going to show you how to pay attention to the subtle sensations that you feel within and how you can shift your energy. I know for me, when I drive, I feel my shoulders lift up. Well, you're going to learn about that, and Bridget's going to teach you some things. You're also going to learn how to regulate your nervous system in just a few moments. She's got some really cool strategies for you. And you're going to receive a tool on how you can use your body to feel and to heal. We always want to bring in joy because the joy mindset is joy journey options you choose. And by the time you finish this workshop, you're going to be rising with confianza. What does that mean? That means rising with confidence. You're going to walk away having some knowledge, skills, strategies, and tools. And for some, tools go in the shed box. For others, they're treasures that we keep and hold on to. We know that after this, you'll be able to take at minimum one practical step. So let's get started, Bridget.
Okay, well, as you've already said, this workshop is Feel to Heal, Reconnecting to Your Body's Inner Wisdom. And this is an empowering workshop that provides women with clear, practical strategies for reconnecting to their body's inner wisdom and embody how you really want to feel on a daily basis.
Oh, thank you.
So that's why we're here. Welcome to the journey of connecting to your body. By learning to listen to the subtle signals, you can get the deeper message of what it's showing up for you to begin to heal emotional wounds, reduce pain, regulate your nervous system, and live with greater presence and authenticity. And this is an experiential workshop, so I just want you to be open and allow yourself to receive what it is that you are meant to receive today. There is no need to take lots of notes, just be present in your body to see what is showing up for you.
Thank you.
So I want to start off by just asking you, how are you feeling at this moment? Not how you were feeling a half an hour ago or how you felt last week, but how are you feeling in this present moment? And just take a moment to pause and tune into your body and just notice what you're experiencing. What sensations are present? What emotions may be present? Or any thoughts that might be swirling around in your head right now? Just notice without any judgment or trying to change or fix anything. Take this moment to tune into your body. And I just want anyone to share what showed up for them, just in this moment that we took a moment just to be present with what's showing up for us.
Yeah, it looks like people are enjoying the opportunity to just breathe and to relax and have
Mm,
a moment to slow down. Thank you. Keep it coming.
great.
Yeah. How does this work for you, Bridget, when you do it? Like what is
Well, I'm going to say presently, I'm kind of nervous because I'm doing this workshop. So I feel like this like raciness almost, some energy rising up, more of excitement and nervousness combined. So I feel it in my chest. Sometimes when I get a little nervous, my voice gets a little raspy. So you may notice that. But I'm glad to be here and I'm being present, even though these signs are showing up for me. It's just my body saying, "Hey, I'm a little nervous right now." So, and it's okay. So all right. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's so important. So why? Why is it important to connect with our emotions? That's a question in the house. Why is it important to connect with our emotions? You gave us the opportunity where you talked about this is how I'm feeling. This is an emotion and I feel it physically in my body. It's a little bit tense. My voice can change. Why does that matter?
It matters because your body is really just giving you a message to let you know that something is showing up for you and for you to know that it's a part of who you are at this moment. Your body is with you all the time. It's always giving you signs. And when we don't pay attention to it, it's just going to get louder and louder. So it's important for us because it's a part of who we are. And it's like you're ignoring a part of yourself when you're denying yourself that feeling. And it's not always comfortable, but it gives you the opportunity to dig deeper if it was something that was like painful or a tingling or numbness or something that just felt really heavy and like grief, then you can dig deeper to see, well, what is behind that emotion? What is behind that sensation versus trying to put it aside? So it's important because it's energy, it's an emotion that's in you. So it's a part of you. So you don't want to deny anything about yourself.
Thank you.
So the body stores what the mind ignores. Our
Mm.
bodies are incredible record keepers, storing emotional experiences our conscious minds may have forgotten or suppressed. This somatic memory exists in our tissues, our posture, our breathing patterns, and our nervous system responses.
Oh, I like how you say that. So the body records and stores things. So this could be past emotion that's stuck in my shoulder.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
So, some examples of stored energy. Physical manifestations may be chronic tension and pain, shallow breathing, digestive issues, sleep disturbances. And how many of us have had any of these? I mean, I know I have, and it's pretty common, but when we're not paying attention to those subtle sensations, it can manifest into something more physical, like pain, digestive issues, things that you may not necessarily connect to your emotions.
Mm. Yeah, I've definitely noticed the shallow breathing when I think it's when I get nervous and it's different, right? But I know I've experienced when I get nervous, it seems like my breath doesn't go all the way down. It like gets stuck right here.
Mhm.
And so I find myself doing a deeper, like a yawn to make it go deeper down to where I feel more at ease and at peace.
And some emotional indicators may be unexplained anxiety or fear, emotional numbness, disappropriate reactions, difficulty connecting with others. And sometimes when we do have the anxiety and the fear, we don't really connect it to maybe something emotional that happened last year. But if it's manifested in your body, it can show up years later. It doesn't have to be in the moment when you're experiencing some of these symptoms.
What might be an example, say, of a disproportionate reaction? Question.
You may, like, if you and I were in the same situation, the same room, experiencing a situation with another person, I may react totally different than you might react. So you might think, oh, why is she reacting that way? But I might think, oh, something is threatening, so I'm going to react in a different way. So when you're not really, it's based on your past experiences. So you may perceive something as a threat versus somebody else may not perceive it as a threat. So it may look like, oh, something's wrong with you because you're reacting in a certain way.
So, like an example could be, say, someone, a loud noise. Like if someone's around loud noises all the time, it may not affect the person that's because they're around it all the time, it may not startle them. Whereas a person who's in a more quiet environment on a consistent basis hears a loud noise that could startle them because of their different
Exactly.
experiences. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Thank you. Thank you. So we got a question in the house. How might a person know if their discomfort is related to stored energy?
Well, any type of discomfort is energy. So it is stored in your body. So that means that whether it's a tension in your shoulders or chronic pain, that is energy. So that means that it's something in your body that wants to move through. So if you're feeling it physically in your body, then it's already stored there. So it's just an opportunity to allow it to move through to do certain practices to get that energy out.
Okay.
So numbing equals disconnecting. They're very similar, but when emotions feel overwhelming, we often develop sophisticated strategies to avoid feeling them. We don't want to feel the heaviness of them, so we try to numb them. We may use substances to try to numb them. We may overeat to try to numb them. But while these coping mechanisms may have once served as protection, chronic numbing creates distance from our authentic selves and deepest needs.
Yeah, this is a great point. So I notice when I'm around a lot of people that I will feel more comfortable eating. And it's a sign of emotional, we're at a gathering, and it's eating, talking, like it seems, food seems to create a sense of comfort for me. Not that I'm numbing or disconnecting, but I'm using it to comfort my body.
Hmm. That's pretty common.
Yeah. Do you do you have any examples of have you seen that at all in either people you've supported or any kind of experience that our audience can relate to?
Yeah, when things are showing up, you're just trying to ignore what's happening, or you're trying to do something to calm it down so it won't be overwhelming. Like physical pain, a lot of people want to take pain medications or even using topical creams, which I mean, I had some pain in my thumb earlier, and I was like, I need to put a cream on there. And we just don't want to, we want to numb that pain because we don't want to actually feel it because it feels so overwhelming. So whether it's taking a pain pill, using a topical treatment to numb the pain because you don't want to feel it, anything that you're trying to do to calm that pain down.
Yeah, it seems like a way of caring for the hurt. So how might a person know if they're numbing themselves?
Well, some common things are overworking, You're just constantly doing, doing, doing. And I'm one of those people who always felt like they had to do,
Me too.
filling up time with something else to do. It could be overeating. It could be, like I mentioned, taking pain pills, or you could be just like binging TV for hours and hours at a time. So those are the most common things that people do to numb. They just don't want to feel what they're feeling, so they're trying to fill their time with something that will allow them to distract themselves from that feeling.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, so here we go. Substance use, overworking, excessive screen time, overeating, even restricting food.
Oh, talk about the restricting food. What is,
Yeah, so it could be that you don't want to feel, just say, the fullness of eating. So you restrict yourself from that food so you can actually create more discomfort, but you're trying to numb the actual emotion that's showing up for you. So you're
ah,
putting it off to something else. Like, I can restrict the food and then I might have hunger pains, but I don't feel that grief or that sadness that I am feeling. So you might restrict food in order to numb another feeling.
oh, yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about different things that can happen when we talk about food, when I was thinking about just medical situations that can happen to the body when we think about like overeating or undereating, anorexia, bulimia, things like that. Just thinking of
Mhm.
some of the connections between the mind and the body. So we have a question here, Bridget, and it's, I've been feeling disconnected, but I can't really define how or why. What are your thoughts about this?
A lot of times we don't really know. So if we really tune in to what we are actually feeling, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, just sitting with that instead of like moving toward it to see, well, I'm curious, what is this for me? What am I feeling at this moment? And is there a message behind it? Just asking your body that question. Sometimes it'll shift the energy. Sometimes you'll get an answer of what you might need. But just being with whatever it is, and even if you don't get an answer or you don't know why or how, just being present with that energy really lets your body know, oh, she's paying attention to me. And sometimes it can go away, or sometimes you can get an answer. But there's no like trying to figure it out. You're just being present with what is.
Thank you.
So here are some signs that you might be disconnected. You might be feeling flat or emotional emptiness, difficulty identifying what you actually need, living primarily in your head, and physical sensations feel really distant to you.
Hmm. And I wonder what the disconnection is. Disconnection from what? So we got a question. It says, sometimes I just need to disconnect. What's the difference between disconnecting and numbing? Is there a difference?
There is a subtle difference. Disconnecting is when you are just unplugged from your body altogether. You don't want to feel anything. You're avoiding all the feelings, even the physical sensations. You're just trying to unplug and not feel anything. Numbing is when you're more trying to soothe it or make it feel better, or you're not, it's like you're trying to dull the pain, dull the sensation, so that it's not as overwhelming or as heavy.
Okay. Let's talk about the cost of numbing. What happens when we do numb? Because you talked about like ways that we can numb, but what about the cost of numbing? Say when someone chooses to do, you talked about they could, excessive watching TV or not eating or partaking in different substances as a way to not feel. What,
Yeah.
what's the cost of numbing?
It really just diminishes how we feel about ourselves. It diminishes our joy and even pleasure. There may be difficulties with relationships, whether they're work relationships, intimate relationships, family relationships. And there's just a disconnection from yourself, like that intuition, that inner knowing that you have, as well as increased physical symptoms. You may have discomfort in your back, your neck, shoulders, TMJ, digestive issues, things like that.
See what we got here. Those would be very uncomfortable if we can begin to acknowledge and identify those signs. I imagine that can be powerful because we're working to listen and hear what our body is saying. So let's talk about feelings. What do they have to do with this, sensations in the body, emotions? What does that have to do with healing in our body?
Yeah, so I'll definitely just say by feeling is not the enemy, which, we're talking all about the feelings and sensations. And we often learn at a young age that emotions are bad or they're dangerous. So we're told things like not to cry or be quiet or calm down or don't be angry. And these messages really teach us to fear our emotions and rather than really embrace what is showing up for us and using it as guidance. And the truth is, all emotions serve a purpose, whether we think of them as good or bad. And I won't even say they're good emotions or bad emotions, they're just emotions. Some of them feel better than others, like joy feels better than anger. But it is an emotion and it's really serving its purpose, no matter what the emotion is. And they provide valuable data about our needs, our boundaries, and our values. Learning to welcome all feelings without judgment is a powerful step toward wholeness. And Rumi says the cure for the pain is in the pain. So we're not trying to pull away from it, push away from it. We're actually leaning towards it to get the information that it's providing us.
I agree. I agree. Although I imagine like a major level of grief or sadness and the tears and the anguish that comes with that, I don't find that to be very comfortable. But acknowledging and accepting like it is a part of life, these are the things that people experience. I experience,
Yes.
and just allowing that.
Yeah, because the more you resist something, the more that it will persist. So, yes, we do go through a lot of heavy emotions, grief, sadness, depression, and all of these things. And it's just something we can move through if we're just willing to face it, accept where we are, and things will shift as we move through them. So,
Yeah.
emotions are like waves, they rise, peak, and eventually subside if we don't resist them.
I appreciate that because it acknowledges the fact that emotion isn't forever. I'm not going to be angry forever. I'm not going to be sad forever. And it helps to acknowledge the fact that it is a cycle.
Yes, for sure.
Mhm. So we got a question in the house. It says, how might your life shift if you allowed yourself to feel more fully? So, friends out there, how might your life shift if you allowed yourself to feel more fully? Well, I will share with you, Bridget, and this is my own personal story, but I felt like after my thyroid was removed and I no longer had my thyroid, I felt like I became more emotional. It was really interesting because prior to that, I had a sensation that I was much more grounded and I did have my emotions. Of course, I'm a human, but I felt like I did a really good job of being grounded and almost compartmentalizing situations. And when I had my thyroid removed, I became more emotional. Like we're talking, I could be watching a movie. Next thing you know, I'm like, like things just they seem to impact me more. And so, friends, think about your own life. What have you noticed about your life? What are your thoughts, Bridget?
Yeah, I love that story. Not necessarily that you had your thyroid taken out, but you're expressing emotions more, and that's a good thing. And I know for me, because I never really expressed my emotions growing up, we weren't that loving family that, oh, how are you feeling today? And all this stuff. So it allowed me to, only as an adult, I realized that I wasn't expressing myself over like the past maybe 10 years.
Mhm.
And once I started expressing myself, it was more freeing. And I felt like my needs were being met. I was expressing myself more, and it just felt good to be seen and heard. So that's one of the things that I think is a benefit of tapping into your emotions and feeling these things, because there is a need that is wanting to be met. So if you are having neck pain, jaw pain, maybe
Mhm.
it's an indication that you might need to speak up more for yourself. Or whatever it is, the TMJ might be saying, I'm presenting myself as jaw pain so that you can notice me. And if you dig a little deeper, it might be that you're not communicating enough or you're not standing up for yourself. So these subtle sensations, that once we start to really tap into them and see what they really mean for us, because it's going to be different for everybody, it can really be liberating and freeing to allow yourself to be who you authentically are.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you're making me think about Louise Hay. And so Louise, is it Louise Hay or Louise Hayes?
Hey,
Louise Hay.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm thinking about a book that she authored, and it talked about like what the emotion sensations are feeling. And not only that, it's also remind me of the fact like this is another workshop on communication because we can feel our sensations and our body can be telling us, for example, like I say when I lost my thyroid, it was really because my throat was I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't speaking up. I was really raised in such a way that we didn't speak up. As a Latina woman, I didn't speak up. I wasn't it was better to be quiet and not ruffle
Mhm,
any feathers than to actually speak my truth and to express boundaries and to express assertive communication. I didn't have all those skill sets. And so this
mhm.
is bringing up the opportunity that this would be a great workshop on communication. We feel these sensations, but how do we take these sensations to positively affect ourselves and impact ourselves and others? Can we assertively communicate ourselves in love, through love, whatever that is? And I think that takes skill, that
Yeah.
takes learning. And so maybe we'll do another workshop on communication. That would be
Yeah.
exciting. I'm grateful for that. So, friends, continue bringing any of your questions that you may have. Put them in the Q&A, and we'll be sure that Bridget can answer those or we can add some story to those. So we're halfway through, and now we're moving into joy. Find your flow.
Yay, that sounds awesome. And I'm so glad you're in this joy state, because when you mentioned your thyroid being removed, the first thing that I thought of, and this may not even be why you had to have it removed, is communicating, expressing yourself. Because if you're not expressing yourself, it can manifest in something else. I'm not saying your thyroid issue was a manifestation of that, but that is what can happen. So that if you're being diagnosed with something, or a doctor says, "Oh, I need to take out your thyroid," notice if, like, had something led up to that. Notice if you had been feeling pain or discomfort in your neck or anywhere in your body. And these little subtle signals, before it came to a situation where having to have your thyroid taken out, maybe if we listened sooner, then maybe it didn't have to be taken out. I'm using you as an example because you mentioned the thyroid,
Yeah.
not to say that is what the issue was with you, but things like that. I think that we want to notice these sensations before it manifests into something more physical.
Oh, totally, Bridget. And I wholeheartedly, this is why I do joy. Joy means journey options you choose. It's about your free will. This is my calling. This is why you do it. You are right on, Bridget. My body was talking to me, but I didn't know how to respond to the conversation that it was giving me. And it was at that final manifestation of that break, of that breakdown, if you
Hmm.
will. And it was that gift and that blessing that has brought me to this now. And so I learned a whole lot. And I like to say that, my thyroid was sacrificed so that I could have a shorter BS barometer. Because now I do a much better job of listening to my body, and I am a much better communicator. And that was part of the lessons that I learned. So thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that. And everyone is unique, everyone is individual. I think one of the things that's important, and we talked about this, Bridget, when we talked about that a feeling or emotion isn't forever. And that's really important because when we think about our emotional experiences, even the intense ones, the things that I was going through, and I haven't even shared the story, right? But all the things that I was going through that was leading up to the transitions and the changes within my body, that the actual emotion, it lasts 60 to 90 seconds in the body. And when we allow it to move through our body, then we can go into another cycle of more things, right? My
exactly.
particular experience had to do with chronic. Like this was a chronic situation, which created a manifestation of that level, right? So when we think about
Mhm.
our friends out here, thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself and learning about feel to heal. And we've got a question, Bridget, and this is just for you. So when I think about my emotions and how they are speaking to me, I wonder, what might my body need in order to feel safe? Can you talk to us about that?
Definitely. Well, each person I think is individual and it shows up for them differently. But it really is feeling that you are being heard, your body feels supported, and that you're going to give it what it needs. So when you're feeling all the feelings, the sensations, and emotions, you're just asking your body, what does it need to feel safe? And some people, it might just be, oh, I need a hug. Some people, it might be, oh, I just need a glass of water, or I might just need to take a walk. But it's different for each person. So that's why it's important for us to really tap into ourselves and connect to see what it is that we actually need in order to feel safe.
Yeah, I love the way we acknowledge that every individual is unique and special. We're not a copycat of an individual. We're all humans, but our DNA, all the way down to our tears, have their own unique design. That's what's so beautiful about being human, is that as a human, we are uniquely designed.
Yes. So, our nervous system and safety is really important, and our ability to feel emotions safely is directly connected to our nervous system state. When we feel threatened, our nervous system prioritizes survival over presence, making emotional processing difficult and impossible. And not even just when we feel threatened, but when we perceive something as a threat, our nervous system still prioritizes that survival state in order for us to be able to move or get away from something, even though it may not be a threatening situation, but we might perceive it as being threatening, our nervous system still responds the same.
Yeah, perceive being key point because we talked about the individual that's around loud noise all the time. They may not have the same impact as an individual that's in a very quiet situation. And then all of a sudden there's that can really affect individuals differently based on their experience and what they bring to the table. So that perceived is so important. And the reason I'm highlighting that, Bridget, is because sometimes people undermine people.
Oh, yeah,
And they undermine people by saying, like, you shouldn't be afraid of that. Why does that even bother you? It's that
exactly.
judgment, that critical ear, that critical voice. And sometimes we even do it to ourselves, like, why am I so jumpy? Why am I
Yeah,
so afraid? Like, hello, I'm safe. It's not a sign of self-love or self-compassion when we're critical with oneself
exactly.
or others. So let's dive in. Tell us about this whole nervous system thing and what does it have to do with individuals and our friends that are here in the house?
Well, our nervous system wants us to be safe and in our comfort zone. It's trying to protect us at all costs. So we can be in different states depending on different situations that we're in. So the parasympathetic, I'll start with that, is more of a rest and digest where you feel calm, you're moving through life and everything feels good. But there's a parasympathetic shutdown, which takes you all the way down to the bottom level of parasympathetic state, which there's numbness, fatigue, brain fog, disconnection, maybe even depression, and you're feeling like you're not here. You really want to disconnect. You don't want to be around anybody. You really feel this dark space. So that is like the bottom end of the parasympathetic. That's the shutdown state. Then
Mhm.
there's a sympathetic activation, which is that fight or flight state where our body is racing, our heart is racing, we have shallow breathing, our muscles tense up, there's hypervigilance, and we have these racing thoughts. And that's when we are in a dangerous situation. And it's a good thing because we want to get out of that situation. So our body is doing its job by putting you in this sympathetic activation state in order to get you out of danger. But the problem is, sometimes we perceive danger and it's not actually threatening. So our body can still be in that sympathetic activation state, which most of the time people are actually in this state. So their body feels like there is danger, so their heart is racing really fast, their muscle is tense. And that's not where we want to be most of the time. We only want to be in this state when we are actually in a threatening situation that we're trying to get away from. And then there's the ventral vagal state, which is that safety state where you feel connected to yourself and connected to others. You're relaxed, you have alertness, there's presence, there's curiosity, and you're more open, there's connection, and there's emotional availability. Because when you're in the sympathetic activation or parasympathetic shutdown, you really don't have a lot of emotional availability. You're shutting things down or you're running away from something. So that is, in a nutshell, the nervous system states that we're generally in.
Yeah, this is important to recognize this. I think about like when I'm envisioning it like I'm at say a place where they have rides, and for me they could be a scary ride, and how my body may emotionally respond to those different states of, the high roller coaster, the low roller coaster, moving in and out. I'm creating that relationship as something that could be easily understandable as opposed to relating it to something like getting in a car accident or something
Yeah.
like that, but those emotional states. So thank you for providing that knowledge. It helps us to understand our body and the responses that our bodies may have in different types of conditions and situations.
And so emotional healing requires creating conditions of perceived safety for our nervous system. This is the foundation for all somatic work.
Huh. So here's a question. What is somatic work and what does it have to do with me? Thank you, friends.
So, somatic work is really about connecting to your body. Soma means body. So you're really being in touch with your body, knowing what the sensations are, knowing what you're feeling, not pushing it aside, but really connecting on that deeper level to what your body is communicating with you. And it is a connection between your mind and your body. So we need both. We're not always just in the physical body. We still need our mind to explore and take action and things like that. But it is definitely that connection. And it recognizes that our life experiences, emotions, and traumas are often stored within our physical being, influencing our health and our well being. And through various techniques, somatic work helps you become more attuned to your bodily sensations, releasing stored tension, and to cultivate a deeper sense of presence and self awareness. And it's about getting to the root cause of what might be holding you back on an unconscious level, allowing for profound healing and integration. So it really is that body mind connection and not just focusing on symptoms, but really getting to the root of what your body is telling you.
Yeah, this is making me think about one time I was having a massage. It was actually a polarity session, but moving my body in different ways. And it was so interesting because when the massage therapist was working on my body, I was getting different memories. It was so interesting. I remember when the massage therapist moved my leg a certain way, and I remembered all of a sudden I got this flash of when I was a kid and I was sitting on like this little porch area, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was moving through something that maybe was a pattern way back then or a movement that you had in that situation, and your body remembered it, and she helped release that out of your system.
Yeah, this is important because when I'm thinking about the current basis of the body, what's currently like in the present moment, what am I feeling like and how do I handle that, right? But then there's also that emotion that's stored. And how might I release that if it's in there and it can later on potentially manifest into something of dis-ease? And
Yes.
so how might that work? So those are just some things I'm thinking about and I don't know if this means another workshop. I don't know if this means, but I do know that that's knowledge that's important about how if our body is a record keeper and it's keeping records, what might it be writing? What are some of the chapters it's written? And how might I work to release some of those chapters in there that could be in there that are ready to be released and to get them out, you know?
Yeah. And the key word too is ready to be released, because sometimes we want to release things, but it's not even ready. You don't even feel safe enough to release it. So when your body is ready, when you're in a relaxed state, whether you're having a massage, polarity session, craniosacral, you're giving your body that time to relax and release whatever it needs to release. And it no longer needs to hold on to it because it's ready now to let go of it.
Like it, like it. Will you talk to us? You are the expert, Bridget. Talk to us about these examples of somatic techniques. And you talked about what it meant, soma meaning body. That's new. I didn't even know that. That's so cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're
I've got
welcome.
another new learning. Well, lots of new learnings, but that one popped out.
Yeah, so some examples of somatic work or somatic exercises is breathing, breath work, and I don't even want to necessarily say work because it's not really work. It's breathing, giving your body the chance to really breathe intentionally versus shallow breathing or just breathing to get by, because you're going to be breathing anyway. But having that intentional breathing is really great, calming your nervous system, mindful movement, and we're going to go through some of these practices in a minute. And then grounding practices. So, really allowing yourself to be centered and grounded, moving your body and breathing.
All right, I'm excited. Let's see what this might look like.
So, a grounding practice, coming home to your body. Before we can process emotions effectively, we need to establish a felt sense of safety and presence. So, simple grounding practices help regulate your nervous system and build somatic awareness.
Yeah, and it's that perceived. You must feel safe. Your body has to know I can be relaxed. I don't have to have all
Yes.
these extra guards up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you're gonna take us through something. Yay!
Yes.
Excited. Friends, are you excited? Let's hear it.
So, the first step is really just finding your base. Just noticing all the places that your body is making contact with whatever you're sitting on or laying on. Just feel yourself being supported by the floor, the chair, the ground beneath you. And just take a few moments to really sense these points of contact. You're just allowing yourself to be supported in this moment by whatever you're sitting on. And then you're just going to follow your breath without changing your breath. Just simply observe the natural rhythm and the movement of your breath, the air coming into your nostrils and exhaling out of your nostrils. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And just feel the air moving in and out of your nostrils. Just noticing your breath, following your breath. And now you're just going to scan your body and just slowly move your attention throughout your body from your head to your toe, or your toes to your head, whichever feels comfortable for you. And just notice any sensations without judgment. Notice any temperature, heat or cold. Notice any pressure, any tingling, any heaviness. Maybe there's some lightness. Just simply observe what is present for you at this moment. And if there's an area that's calling your attention the most, you can place your hand there. And just bringing awareness and witnessing your body in this way can make a shift in your energy. Something can shift just by doing these simple 3 things. And this is something you can do for 5 or 10 minutes just to strengthen your mind-body connection and start to create the foundation for self-awareness and emotional regulation.
Well, I really liked this experience. It was just interesting. Friends, if you want, you're welcome to put anything in the chat of anything that came up, what you might have felt. For me, Bridget, it was interesting. I felt the need to close my eyes so that I could feel more relaxed and more present. Having my eyes open for some reason, it's like more overstimulation. I have all this stimulation. And so once I was able to close my eyes, I was able to really connect with my breath and where it was at. And then when you were talking about like just paying attention and noticing, I began to feel like my left arm was kind of cold. I was like, oh, it's a little bit chilly, you know? And so I just want to thank you. Thank you for offering that practice and the opportunity to pay attention, notice our bodies, and thank you, friends, for walking through that process. Know that you can do that anytime. Anytime you can just close off whatever's happening and just tap into yourself and really regulate your breath as well, especially based on whatever the experience is, right? Because we may be having moments of stress or moments of anxiety or different things, but we can tap into our body. So will you talk to us about that? We've got a question in the house of how do I support my body? You gave us a practice, but anything else you want to share on this, Bridget?
Yeah, I really just think that connecting to whatever you're feeling and asking the question, like, what do I need right now? You're yawning. You might need a nap after this. I don't know. But you're just asking yourself, what do I need to support me right now? And just asking that question, it brings in that curiosity, like, what do I need? You don't have to have the answer. It may come later on, like, oh, maybe I need to go for a walk or whatever. But just asking the questions, like, what do I need to support my body? And you can decide if you want to sit for 5 minutes and do this simple practice that we did, or if you want to do a movement practice, or if you want to do, I don't know, eat something differently, something nourishing. Asking your body what you need, and you decide what it is that you want, not what I say you should do or anybody else that might say that you need something.
Yeah, that's important. Is acknowledging that our body, you've said it all the way throughout, you've weaved it in. Your body talks to you. Your body will tell you, and just asking it, what do I need right now? And yeah, the yawning is so nice. It's like a deep breath. It feels so good. So I love when I do that. What, Bridget, is one of the easiest ways that you use to connect to your body and your inner wisdom? On top of the fact that you ask it, you just say like, hey, what do you need right now? And your body will.
Yeah. And when I ask the question, whatever comes up, I'm trusting that that is the answer. I'm not trying to figure out, well, I want to do this or I should do this. If my body says I need to go for a walk, that's what I'm going to do. So that's when you begin to trust your inner wisdom because you're actually doing what your body is saying is best for you at that moment. So you're not saying, oh, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. Like it's telling you right now, this is what I want. So that's what I'm going to do. So really being present with what I need. And a lot of times I'm like, oh, I don't have time to do this. I need to go to work or I need to do this. But if it's 5 minutes, I'm going to take that 5 minutes to do what my body is saying that I need. Like this morning, I just felt stiff and I said, what do I need? And I just needed to move my body. It didn't have to be anything strenuous. It was just like this free flow movement that I need to get a little more energized and just to get some circulation going and more movement. So, really listening when you're led to do something.
Yeah, and the somatic practice, meaning soma meaning the body, practice within the body, that movement really is medicine. I remember someone talking to me about the fact that as you get older, you get stiffer, but really your body needs to have movement to, put some oil in the joints. And so let's talk about what are some of those practices? What are some of those techniques that we can use?
Yeah. So we can do a few of these right now. So whatever you're led to do, whether it's shaking to release, I'm going to still sit down, but you can stand up and just shake your body, shake your hands, your arms, shoulders, legs, feet, just shaking. And you're discharging that tension and that energy. And this actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It turns it on so that it actually can be more calm. So doing that a couple of minutes, or just authentic movement. Maybe you want to be more free flowing. Maybe you want to, I don't know, do a back, arch your back or hip circles, but you're just doing a free move, a free flowing movement, whatever feels good for you. Emotion specific movements could be like you're actually discharging that energy. You may be making sounds, you might be pushing anger out, you might be raising your fist and like really getting the fear and the anger out of your system, but you're bringing the emotion in and you're allowing it through, but you're also like making sounds. I love adding sounds to certain movements because you're really expressing that emotion physically and you're voicing it verbally. But just making sure that you're in a safe space to do all of these things. And these are just invitations, and you can just do whatever it is that you're led to do. There's no specific thing that you need to do. And just honor where you are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Bridget. Can you see the screen? Hi, friends, we're back. We are looking at the specific practices that we can do. Okay, go to it. We had talked about getting up, moving around, authentic movement. Anything else you'd like to share with this, Bridget?
The only thing I'll share is just like doing whatever feels good for you. It doesn't have to be a specific thing, but just any type of movement, just to get the circulation going, just to get your body moving so that you can release the emotions, the physical tension in your body. So just whatever is best for you, and just honor your body and use your body as the guide.
Yeah, thank you. So we got a question in the house, and the question is, how do you feel movement impacts your overall well-being and daily life?
It definitely, for me, it energizes me. It gets your circulation movement moving so that your blood is flowing, which is helpful in all areas of life. It energizes me and it gets me like more motivated. When I'm able to move, I'm able to express more. And I feel like I'm releasing like the tightness and tension that I might be feeling or any heaviness. Just moving, it could be dancing, jumping up and down. It just gets your circulation going and it just helps your overall vitality.
Yeah, thank you. So, friends, you've had the opportunity to connect. What are some of your biggest questions or your challenges related to emotions? This workshop was designed for you to gain knowledge, skill, strategies, and tools. So, think about and tap in. Thank you, Bridget. You took us through that activity where we could tap into our body and we could listen to our body. Any questions you might have, put them please into the Q&A so that we can help support your process.
So, the final part of this whole thing is an embodiment practice and just asking yourself, how do you want to feel? I think that is so important because sometimes we just don't think we have autonomy to do what it is that we want to do. And we feel like we're dependent on other people to for our happiness and for how we want to feel. So just asking like, how do you want to feel? What experiences do you want to have? And beyond simply processing past emotions, somatic work empowers us to proactively cultivate desired states of being. So at any moment, you can shift the state that you're in. Like at the beginning of this workshop, you may have felt a certain way. After you just did the guided exercise of breathing, you may have felt a certain way. After you did the movement, you may have felt a certain way. So you were able to shift your state of being in those 3 steps. And it didn't have to be anything major, but you had the autonomy to really change the state no matter where you are, no matter what the situation is. And this isn't ignoring challenges that may come up or reframing. I know, but people talk a lot about reframing, but reframing really is kind of like, oh, let me just say something differently, even though I feel a certain way. And reframing is not really something that I feel is powerful for us. Once we feel the feelings, and then we can say, oh, I do want to feel differently. So just asking yourself, how do I want to feel? And really using your 5 senses to bring that into your actual body. Whether it's you want to feel calm or peaceful or joyful, what does that feel like for you? What does that feel like in your body? What are you doing? Where are you? Who are you talking to? And really bringing that experience in right now allows you to experience what it is that you want to feel versus being stuck in the pain or stuck in a cycle that you don't want to be in. You have the ability to shift the state that you want to be in. So an embodiment practice could look like identifying the feeling. How do you want to feel? Joyful, present, confident, calm. Recall a memory when you did feel that. Because if you didn't have that memory, you wouldn't even know what it feels like. So if you already know that you want to be calm or joyful, you've had that memory before. So bring that memory into your body and just notice the specific sensations that you feel when you feel that joy or that calm or confidence. What does that feel like in your body? And just mimic those sensations. Consciously adapt the posture, the breathing pattern, the subtle internal sensations associated with that feeling, and use all of your senses to really visualize that state of being right now. And sustain a deeper and deepen that practice by holding this embodied state for a few moments in your body, allowing the sensations to deepen and to become more integrated. So just breathing into your body, feeling all those sensations, and feel that experience right now.
Yeah, Bridget, I could see this working, especially for emotions that I want to feel per se, right? Like I can duplicate that feeling. What I'm wondering about is how do I handle some of the other feelings? So say, for example, I get I get a sense of anger and anger's not bad, my friends. We're not making a judgment. All feelings and emotions are guiding. They're guiding posts teaching you something. But let's say I have maybe I got cut off and that created a sense of anger in me. So I'm naming it. I'm angry that I didn't appreciate them, cutting me off. And what I've heard you say throughout this entire experience is that it's about noticing. It's about observing, paying attention, and acknowledging, friends, that an emotion will go full cycle 30 to 60 seconds, like a minute.
Yeah,
And I can choose an alternate emotion uh, following that.
yeah,
What are you thinking? What are you thought? Because we also know that things get stuck in our body.
yes.
Like if I want to be chronically angry for the next hour because something happened to me for 3 seconds.
I think that a lot of things, like when you mentioned anger, it's not even necessarily the situation that you're angry about. It's the what your thoughts and emotions about the situation. So if someone cut you off in traffic, you might get angry. Yes, somebody cut you off in traffic. However, what are your thoughts and emotions about that experience, about the person that did that? Do you think they are disrespecting you? Do you think that they're rude? Whatever it is that you think about the person or the situation, that is the deeper, that's where we start to go a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment, you're like, okay, I'm angry. You're not going to sit there if you're at a stoplight and say, oh, how do I want to feel? Let me recall a feeling. You're not going to do that. There isn't time for that. But what you can do is in that moment say, okay, I'm angry at this moment. I'm accepting that as my reality right now. And I can put it on the back burner. When I'm able to really process what that anger is about, I'm going to go back to that and see what the deeper meaning is behind that anger. Because it could be, like I said, the person might be rude. They may have you might feel that they're disrespectful. They're taking up your space. They're not taking you into consideration. That is what the anger is, not about necessarily the act of what they did. So you can process that later, but then in that moment, if you are angry, you can say, yes, I'm angry, but in this moment, I'm just going to focus on my breath and allow your breath to maybe calm you down a little bit until you're at a place where you can actually process that anger. Um, but the anger is still, even though you may not feel it at that moment, like 2 minutes later, you might feel a little more calm, but still go back to address what that anger really meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is deeper
Processing.
practices, but that's something you can definitely do.
Yeah, that would be a great workshop too. Processing emotion. What does
Yeah,
that mean? What does that look like? What are the different emotions, right? And digging deep into like you hit it right head on, right? Like what did that mean for me? Well, maybe I felt like, hey, rude, did you not see me?
yeah.
Whatever that can mean. So it is a process in learning how to grow from our emotions is what they teach us. Friends, we're so grateful that you chose to invest in yourself and that you chose to take part in this opportunity. Remember, joy means journey options you choose. It's about your free will, it's about your personal agency. And that was something that Bridget was highlighting when she talked specifically about we do have control. We can make adjustments, we can make changes. Sometimes we may feel that we can't get up and move around, or we can't have time to breathe deep, or we don't, but really we do have personal agency, we do have free will, and so because of that we have joy. Joy is a birthright, it's your gift. What I'd like you to think about now is what is one key takeaway you'll integrate into your wellness. Bridget gave us all kinds of treasures. She gave us all kinds of skills, knowledge, strategies, and tools. But what's one thing that you're going to take away and integrate into your wellness?
I'm going to add to that by saying one thing that I'm going to integrate more of is joy. I definitely feel like I do a lot of work and I know this work and these practices and I do them, but really adding more joy in my life, I think would be so game changer. It would be a game changer for me because even just saying the word joy, I feel lit up, my chest expands, and I love watching you as you smile. I look at you and I see joy. So I'm taking that away and I'm integrating more joy, and I'm going to think of a couple things I can do to bring more joy in my life. Really.
Ah, thank you, Bridget.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, it's been about like there was this time once when I was like really tired. And instead of going to take a nap, when you say ask yourself, like my body said, I'm tired. And I was like, well, no, I'm just going to go eat. And my body was like, but I'm not hungry. I'm tired. And I was like, yeah, no, we are not sleeping because it's the daytime and we don't sleep in the daytime. Right. So like my body was totally talking to me. So when you talk about like that yawning, right? Like just accepting and loving my body and me just being transparent with y'all. Like my brain was, I say there's three of us in here, me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are not in alignment, they're not harmonizing, and one of them is talking more than the other one. It just happens. So for me, what I think about is, that integration of really just honoring my body. When my body says, hey, I'm tired, then just go take a cat nap, go take a power nap. I call them a power nap, right? And also acknowledging that, there can be things that are called joy crashers. That's what I call them. Those are the things that can challenge us when we make these commitments to integrating our wellness. So for me, mine was not listening to myself and overriding what my actual physical body needed. Why? Because I am judging that you cannot sleep in the day. We don't sleep in the day.
Hmm.
That's against the law. you know and it's not true, but it goes back into that deep mindset of like, we work hard and we don't sleep in the day, we sleep in the nighttime, and sleeping is not good in the daytime because you're lazy. That's a judgment, that's a
Yes.
mindset, right? And I got it. So my joy crasher will be dishonoring my needs that my physical body is actually asking me to do. What about you, Bridget? Do you have any joy crashers?
Definitely when I know that I want to get up to exercise, but I said, I don't feel like it. I'm just going to hit the snooze button for 15 minutes, even though I don't have an alarm clock. I just imagine that I'm hitting the snooze button, but then I'm like rushing to get myself together. That is definitely a joy crasher because it sets a tone for the rest of the day. I feel like I'm rushing. But if I feel like I am setting the intention to get up and do my movement practice every day, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit back and say, oh, well, I want 15 more minutes of sleep. Even though I've already had 9 hours of sleep, I'm like, I just don't want to get up. But if I know that it's going to benefit me, then I'm definitely going to get up. So that joy crasher of hitting the snooze button, I'm not doing that anymore.
I love it. Honoring that and recognizing that we have sleep cycles, right? Like I know that if I wake up before 6, I don't use an alarm. I naturally wake up. And if I
Hmm.
wake up before 6, I'm good to go. I'm awake, I'm alive, I'm alert, I'm enthusiastic. Let's go, right? But if I wake up in the middle of that, oh my gosh, my eyeballs are burning, they're heavy. I'm like, oops, I just started a new sleep cycle. At least that's how it works for me. So I've gotten real cool on that, like recognizing like, okay, I'm over here, like I'm in the middle. So generally my body wakes up naturally and we're good to go. And I love when that happens. But then when I choose to like stay up too late because I just am being a bratty and I don't want to go to sleep because I'm like, it's not late yet.
Yeah.
Well,
But
friends,
you know
you've
what
been,
else? Oh,
huh?
sorry. I was going to say too, like when I say I'm going to hit the snooze button, I do wake up naturally too, but generally I wake up around 7, but if I wake up at 6:45, like I'm just going to stay in the bed. It's not 7 o'clock yet.
That's
I'm going to stay in bed for 15 more minutes instead of saying, hey, my body naturally got me up, woke me up at 6:45. I can get up and do 15 minutes of exercise or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, because it can feel like you're robbing yourself of 15 more minutes of
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. It's all in the mind of all of those thoughts, right? Like here I am, like, oh, I'm in a sleep cycle. I better not get up for another hour because now I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
So, friends, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a free gift for you and for investing in yourself and hanging out with us. You'll be getting this recording. We'll be sending it to you as well as a gift. And this is a personal reflection. This gives you the opportunity to dive deeper into your emotions, your states, and where you're at. You'll be receiving this via email. And it's something that you can download, print out, and check in. We're going to give you some practices. These are practices that they're different ones, but Bridget did a fabulous job of teaching us about different practices that can help you to tap in, to feel your emotion, and to heal. We also know it's very important that when you connect to your body's wisdom, your body's so smart. It's like my body telling me I'm tired, but I'm like, no, you're hungry. Well, yeah, no, I wasn't, but look at now I got extra pounds because I prefer to eat than sleep. Okay, TMI. Sorry. You hear what I'm saying, friends? We're like human and we have these different tendencies that come with the terrain, right? And Bridget has taught us so eloquently how to tap into our body, how to listen to what our body is saying. And not only that, she's also given us practices that we can implement to listen better to our body and to love ourselves more. So, Bridget has also given you a gift. And before we move into this gift, do you want to talk to us about this last thing here, Bridget?
Yes, definitely. Just remembering that you're not alone. Body connection, your body wisdom, it's all a journey. It's not a destination. So if you need support, Joy and I are here to support you. But reconnecting with your body can actually help you move through challenging times, challenging emotions. And it's better to do it in a community, to do it with people that you trust. So whether it's me or Joy, but really connecting with people that you feel safe with, I think is essential. And healing happens in connection, not in isolation. And Dr. Gabor Mate has said this, and I definitely feel that it is true. So as you continue your journey, just be gentle with yourself, have more compassion, have less judgment, just be present with yourself, and just allow yourself to heal the way that it's naturally meant to heal and have support along the way.
Yeah. And I ignored what my body was telling me. I've done that a couple times where I've dishonored my body, and I got into some dis-ease. And so this whole workshop was really about activating holistic wellness, the Lead with Joy framework. It's about allowing your body to speak, listening to your body, hearing what your body has to say. Because when you're ready, your body will speak to you. But you got to be willing to hear it. You got to be willing to hear what it has to say. And these were some resources, Bridget, that you said could be beneficial, is correct?
Yes, Dr. Peter Levine, Bessel Vanderkolk, he has a great book. Resma, always forget how you pronounce his last name. Menachem, Kimberly Ann Johnson. These are great resources, and they talk about somatic work and connecting to your body and trauma and things like that, or just finding a somatic practitioner that's in your local area that could be supportive as well.
Yeah, and this is a gift specifically from Bridget. Thank you so much, Bridget, for caring for us and for sharing this. So, if you would like to have the body connection experience, you can scan this QR code. And anything you want to say about this, Bridget?
Yeah, it's really just for you to pretty much do what we did today, but really connect into your body to see what the answers, the messages are for you. So it's about a 20-minute practice, and it's more of an experience just to see what is showing up for you and allow yourself to really tap into your inner wisdom. So I just appreciate you all for being here, and just take your time and be present with what's showing up for you.
Yeah, friends, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We offered and promised to do knowledge, skills, strategies, and tools. You've got some things moving forward. Expect an email coming directly from info@joyoptions.com. It'll have the recording of this, and it will also have the free gift. Please know that if you have friends or family that you would love for them to take part in this, they can still join and register, and we'll be sure to send the information to them so that they have the opportunity to take part in this. We also have workshops throughout the entire month that you can register for and take part in. You do not have to be present to win. Actually, you don't have to be present to be there, but that's what's so beautiful about asynchronistic. You can learn at whatever time and space that works for you. So thank you, Bridget, for joining. Joy. And thank you, friends, for taking part and being here.
Thank you so much.